Hello, everyone. I'm Mimi Lichtenstein, and today I have on my dear friend Millie. She is here to talk with us about a beautiful destination in Chile, in the middle of the southern part of the country. So, Millie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mimi. It's a pleasure being with you today after we last met in Pew. So it's very nice to meet you again.
Well, I'm so excited to have you on because Chile is such a beautiful place. And as you know, my daughter, who is on a gap year, is going to be coming down there later this winter. And so I've been doing a lot of looking around at different places for her. And I'm excited to share Hotel AWA with all of our listeners today because it is such a beautiful, remote, spectacular place. So tell us a little bit about Hotel AWA.
Okay, well, I'm seeing the map, so I will go very quick through where we are located. So I was located in Puerto Varas, that is North Patagonia. So you can have a flight from Santiago to Puerto Varas. That flight takes 1 hour 45 minutes. And well, we are located 50 minutes driving distance from the airport. So this is North Patagonia on the Chilean side. In Puerto Varas, the closest airport is Puerto Montt, and we are the port of entry to Patagonia if we are talking on the Chilean side. So, yes.
And so for people who've never been to Patagonia, it obviously covers an enormous area, crosses over from Argentina to Chile. And so for people who are coming down to that area, to come to where you guys are, you said it's on the northern side, and there's so many different destinations in Patagonia that you can visit that this would just be potentially one stop of many to go explore the whole area.
Exactly. Well, Patagonia has a strong name. Everybody outside knows when you say Patagonia. But I have heard that question many times, like, well, Patagonia is a region shared between Argentina and Chile, and I prefer more to talk about North and South Patagonia. So we are located in the northern Patagonia in the Chilean side, the same altitude as Bariloche on the Argentinian side. And then you have southern Patagonia, where Torres del Paine is located.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are watching, if you're listening, you'll have to come and see this beautiful picture of the hotel perched on the edge of the lake. Tell us a little bit about the story of how the hotel came to be and what it really stands for, because it's very unique in many different ways.
Yes, well, AWA was built 6 years ago. The owners of the hotel are architects. So they fell in love with this region many, many years ago, actually during the honeymoon. And what they wanted to reflect through the hotel's architecture, as they are architects, so they were very focused on that, was showing how this land of contrast that Chile is. Chile is well known about being the land of contrast. We have deserts, glaciers, beach, ski resorts, volcanoes. So there are many contrasts living together. And they wanted to transmit and to show through the architecture of the hotel how these contrasts can live together in a very harmonic way. So that was how the project started. And at the same time, putting a high-end, a top-tier hotel in this area. Mm-hmm. So connecting luxury itineraries where you had very nice properties in Atacama and Torres del Paine, and this location, there was like a lack of high-end hotels. So they wanted to also take advantage of these amazing landscapes that surround the location we are.
And it is obviously so stunning and so architecturally unique. The design of it looks like, it's definitely made from cement and brick and steel. Mm-hmm. Maybe the architects who are the owners who designed it, tell us a little bit about what were they trying to accomplish with it? Is it all about the views? Because I know the views are quite spectacular. What was their goal?
Yes, well, the views was, of course, one of the goals. Taking all the hotel is overlooking the lake and volcanoes. So from every room, you will always be have these amazing views to the lake and volcano. But at the same time, the main concept was trying to reflect how this contrast can live together in a very harmonic way. So here in this photo, you can see the exposed concrete together with the presence of a lot of wood, and showing how these elements that can be considered opposites, like wood and exposed concrete. Well, there you have the water again. Agua, it sounds like water in Spanish. It is not written exactly the same as it should be in Spanish, but the name agua is because we are surrounded by water. So you have water on the front and then all the lakes surrounding in our back. Well, and there you have also the water of our spa, of our swimming pool. And I think if you go one slide, then you have like this, also this presence of the different cultures living together in this area. You know, Puerto Varas has the presence of the Mapuches indigenous that inhabited this region in the old times. And then there is also this combination with the presence of the Germanic influence that was very strong, because after the First World War, we have a very strong immigration from Germany. So that was also an idea to reflect, again, how if you go to the essence of each culture, then you will enrich and take advantage of learning how different cultures can live together.
Well, it's absolutely stunning. And I think once people are there, to just be surrounded by all of that nature and all of that beauty and all of the views out to the lake would just be spectacular. And not only is it, a beautiful luxury property to stay at, but it's in the middle of this area where there are so many fun, active adventures that people can go on. So let's dive into a few of those, maybe starting with hiking.
Exactly. Well, we have, if you choose, we have 4 different kinds of programs. So you can have bed and breakfast, half board, full board, or all inclusive. And if you are choosing the all inclusive program, that means that you will have all the activities included in your program, and also the transfers. One of our differences, of our highlights, I would say, private transfers and activities are included. So that means we assign 1 vehicle and 1 guide per room or family group. And that gives you the huge advantage of choosing the excursions you want to do according to your own interest, of course. So once you arrive to the hotel, the guide will have a conversation with you, and he will listen first. What are you interested in? It's not like, well, tomorrow we're going out to this trekking and perhaps you're not in the mood of trekking, or you want to get up at 10 a.m. in the morning because you're very exhausted, you're tired about long distances flight. So we will adapt to your own rhythm. Yes, we have trekkings through different national parks that surround us. So as I told you before, our location is the port of entry to the national road parks of Patagonia. And the first one is Vicente Perez Rosales, which I think is the one, the photo that you were showing before. So there you can go through different parks. Then you also have bike activities. We are very strong in that matter because during the pandemic, well, as I told you before, that it was like we have 1 guide and 1 4-wheel drive per room. But at the same time, we were the first Chilean hotel that is part of big corporations in Chile. So it was challenging for us, like trying to reduce the use of petrol cars. And that is why we began with this improving our bicycle program activities. And surrounding the Llanquihue Lake, that is the place where we are located, there is a very important bike path that is internationally recognized for e-bikers and road biking. So, well, we have a very strong offer for e-bikers, mountain bike, and also road biking.
Mm-hmm. Which is fun and one of my favorite things to do.
Oh,
I love mountain biking, usually with my dog Tigger, which you might have seen in the background there. And then fishing too. Obviously, you're sitting on a lake and you have other lakes around you. So tell us a little bit about the fishing options.
yes, well, fly fishing is also included in our all-inclusive program. That is sometimes it usually has an extra cost, but it is something that we really want our guests to enjoy, and we have very near places. One of the advantages of this region of northern Patagonia is that everything is like not so far away from the hotel. I would say that the 80% of our excursions depart from less than half an hour distance, driving distance from the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, again, we are offering bike. You can do all the excursions by bike, because you can just bike to the port of, to the starting point, and from there you do the rafting, trekking, or, well, actually fly fishing as we are seeing in that photo. Also kayaking with a view that it's amazing. It's stunning to have the volcano behind you while you are kayaking. And then I think you have also rafting in one of these. Yes, that is excellent. So yes, you have waterfalls, you have rafting, kayaking, you have, well, hiking, biking. Then we also have cultural activities. So you can go and visiting very, very small towns surrounding Puerto Varas. There are like there are many like Frutillar, Potoktai. They are very, very small towns. And if you're interested in this, knowing the presence of the Germanic influence in this region and cultural experiences, then you can have, for example, lunch in one of these very small restaurants in these towns instead of having lunch in the hotel, if you prefer that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's nice to have both the ability to just stay and lounge and luxuriate on property, as well as go off and about in the towns on excursions. I just think the setting is perfect for people who might want to come there and be active, but also just relax and enjoy themselves.
Exactly. Yes, that is. I'm sorry. One of the advantages of doing it in private service, because I mean it's very difficult sometimes to put together in a small group, let's say in a van, people that perhaps are traveling with kids, and then there is a couple that is on the honeymoon and they want to be in a very quiet and private atmosphere. So when you have all these activities in a private service, then you can choose. There are people that really like very active programs to wake up very early in the morning and do rafting and horseback riding during the afternoon, and that's okay. But then we have some people that are not so active and they prefer going through the cultural and gastronomy proposals that perhaps are a little bit more quiet or not so active. And well, you have all those options.
And here you have, I think it's one of the chefs is in the garden. So I know sustainability and being a B Corp, those are, they go hand in hand. And so you guys grow a lot of your own produce for the dining areas, as well as source from local producers nearby.
Exactly, yes. Well, as I told you before, we were the first hotel in Chile certified as a B Corporation, and we are really very, very proud about that. It was a very long process. I really believe when a company says we are B Corp, because it has been a very long process and they take care of every single aspect that has to do with sustainability. And in one of those lines, of course, the 50% of our vegetables in our menu comes from our own produce.
Wow.
And we also visit through our cultural and gastronomy proposals. You can choose, for example, going to the market with our chef, and then visiting our herb garden, and then finishes with a farm to table experiences.
Nice. And then restaurants, obviously your dining is delicious. And I imagine people would stay mostly on property, maybe venture out for another offsite meal, but most of the time they'd be here eating all the delicious things from the chefs.
Exactly, yes. I would say that usually they stay and have dinner and lunch with us. If you're choosing all inclusive, most of the times the lunch will be outside during the excursions, and it is also included like a very gourmet box lunch, for example. There are some places that allows exactly that photo to put like a very nice table in the farm with your glass of wine and a cheese board. So sometimes the excursions allows this kind of lunch activity, lunch options during
Yeah.
the excursion. But sometimes for example, if you're doing, let's say, I don't know, rafting, perhaps you just have your very nice lunchbox. And also you can choose these cultural activities, and in there you go to the small restaurant. During dinner, I would say that most of our guests prefer to stay with us, but just in the case you would like to go to the town, we have 20 minutes driving distance, so you have also that option.
Okay. And I do love that you have the option to eat inside or outside. You know, you might be on a picnic on an excursion. Later that night, you come back and you eat in the beautiful dining room.
Exactly.
Um, and so this picture, for those who are listening, is of a pier jutting out into the water, close by the hotel, just going straight out into the water. So, Mealy, would you tell us a little bit about what this is?
Well, this is yes, it's one of my favorite spots, because this is like a romantic dinner. We started offering during the pandemic for marriage proposals. We had like 10, I would say, at the yes, um, marriage proposals in that particular spot. So there were many people waiting for this after the pandemic, and then so the general manager he's an expert now. The last marriage proposal we had, this man was, well, all the hotel was totally in love. All the women were totally in love with him, because he had this huge postcard saying, "Will you marry me in this particular spot?" And she was looking him through the window, because it was all prepared, and it was like a story that, well, he's a little bit late, so can you see from the window? And he was there. Well, and then she came back down, and they had this romantic dinner over there. So yes, for anniversaries, special moments, it you don't need like a very special, just like having a very romantic dinner over there during the sunset. The colors in that area are like, you have all this pink and orange, and on the right hand side you will have the volcano. So it is a very, very romantic spot.
Magical. And it would be nice to surprise somebody with it. So only one part of the couple needs to know about it, right?
Yes, it would be a very good surprise for anybody to have a special dinner over there. It's definitely one of my favorite spots in the hotel. It is like magical, all the water surrounding you, and the volcano. It's a very, very romantic destination, I would say.
Nice.
Yes.
And normally we leave this to the end, but I know how much you love it. So tell us, if somebody who's listening chooses to book their stay through Trouvé Travel to come and see you, what is the special gift that they get?
Well, this is yeah. So if you book through Trouvé, yes, you will have this special dinner, which is something that I'm sure your clients will enjoy, because it's really nice when you are coming back from your activities, and then you dress very nice, and you have these amazing surroundings during the sunset. So that is a special gift for clients booking through Trouvé.
Thank you. And I will say, I love unique dining venues. I remember I highlighted one in my newsletter from Cap Maison in St. Lucia, because they had a platform down by the sea with like the waves crashing around it. And on a little zip line was a basket. And on that zip line could come like a bottle of champagne or maybe an engagement ring. So
Wow.
people are always very impressed when you find gorgeous, beautiful destinations to surprise them with. Certainly a proposal, but even for just a dinner.
Yes, perhaps it's not a proposal, it's like celebrating a special moment or just life. I mean, that is something to celebrate. It's
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And then let's talk a little bit about luxuriating. So you have a spa on property. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have a spa, we have a semi-Olympic swimming pool as well. We have yoga classes. So yes, it's another option. You know, perhaps if you have rainy days, for example, AWA is a hotel that it is very much. I mean, you can stay inside if the weather is well. It's Patagonia, so you can have rainy days.
You
I
never know.
mean, it's not so cold as southern Patagonia. So that is a difference between South and North Patagonia. But
Mhm.
of course, it is a hotel that was designed to enjoy inside as well. It is not like you have to be outside doing excursions. Perhaps there are some days that you are not on the mood of going outside. So this spa has, the semi-Olympic swimming pool. We have an exercise room. We have different kind of treatments, massage, facial, body massage. So yes, there are yoga lessons that can be done inside the spa or at the lake shore. The photo that we were talking about in the same place that this romantic dinner is offered. Then there is also a place that people with the mat during the very early in the morning or during sunset. We also have these yoga lessons.
Nice. And then we'll look at a few of the different rooms. As you can see, so floor to ceiling windows, cozy fireplace, warm textures, very like fall colors. It just looks so inviting and so cozy.
Yes, the rooms are really amazing. The views they have are stunning. This is one of our suites of the villa. We have 21 rooms in the hotel itself, and then we have 4 more in a private villa. And this is the corner suite of this private villa. So yes, it has like 360 view to that is the view from the lake shore to the villa.
Mhm.
This villa, it was thought like an extension of the hotel, so you can book as an independent room because each room has its own bathroom, an espresso coffee machine. I mean, it's exactly the same as one of the hotel's room, but the difference would be that you can buy out the private villa. It has a total capacity for 10 people.
Mm.
So let's say for a group of friends traveling together or a family, it's a very good option. If you're choosing all-inclusive programs, one of the nights you can have your private chef inside the villa in-house. So yes, that is a very nice experience for a family. Well, this is the living room for the private villa. So you can stay in pajamas with your fireplace near you and seeing the lake and volcano. It's a very, very nice place to stay.
It looks so comfortable. And given that it's, in the 30s or 40s where I am today, it looks very inviting.
Yes, just relaxing there and your glass of wine or pisco sour, that's better.
I
Yes.
think I would opt for a Chilean red if it were up to me, especially on a cooler day, but I'll take either. All right. So I love talking about over the top things, and sometimes that means helicopters, literally over the top. I love this picture because it's not only a helicopter, but it's a helicopter with mountain bikes on it. So it's it's going somewhere with an intent to be there. Do people take helicopters, to go mountain biking, just to go flight seeing? Tell us a little bit about that.
We have scenic flights, and then you also have this option of going to this helicopter was going to Cochamó. That is like it has similarities with Yosemite National Park. They say that it's like the Chilean Yosemite, but of course it is less crowded. I would say no crowded at all in a very remote area. So you can do mountain bike there. Yes, so for people who are very adventurous, that would be a very nice activity to do, like going to a helicopter. And then you also have this option of scenic flights. I would say for scenic flights, this is the most beautiful area in Chile because from the sky you have all this, the top of the volcanoes appearing in the middle of the volcanoes. There are frozen lagoons. So, and then you fly over some rivers to turquoise colors of in these lagoons in the middle of them. So it is really, really worth it to do a scenic flight in this area.
It's absolutely stunning. And I think this next photo is one you took, right?
Yes. Yes, I wanted to, I took my pictures with my cellular phone camera that is not even a good one. And I use it when I present because I want to show that there are not filters or a very famous photographer pictures. It was just me with my cellular phone camera. So that means that everybody can take a photo like this one. So it was an idea to reflect that, yes, the landscapes and the views from the sky in this area are really magical.
And the sunsets, I mean, just the colors of the sky and just this picture, I can't imagine even more impressive, right, when you're seeing it in person.
It is very impressive, yes.
So beautiful. Okay, well, let's talk about, as we wrap up, a few different things. So what's the typical number of nights that somebody might stay, or what's, a good range or a minimum number that they might want to stay?
I would say that less than 3, it would be the best would be 3, an average of 3.
Okay.
Would be the one I recommend. There are some people doing a combination, and of course, well, we always suggest to really go deeper into a region and knowing all the offers and activities we have. But we know that sometimes people want to visit a lot of destinations in one itinerary. So I would say the minimum would be 2 nights. But if you really want to take advantage of this area and what our activities have to offer, I would recommend 4.
Okay. And I think I would go with 3 or 4 also.
Mm-hmm.
You do too. It's like you barely get there and you're leaving already, right? And then what about pairing it with other things? So as you know, Americans in particular, right? We go in and we see things and then we get out. But we're already down there. It's going to take a long time to get down there. So what else should we see while we're down there? What would you pair it with?
Well, the location where we are is very convenient to combine both with the Argentinian northern Patagonia. That would be Bariloche. So you arrive to Santiago if you're flying from US, let's say. So you will take a flight, I don't know, from New York, Los Angeles to Santiago. And then from Santiago to Puerto Montt, there are at least 15, 18 daily flights.
Wow.
So it's very easy to find a good connection. There are some people that actually go from outside and they just connect in Santiago and go directly down to Puerto Varas.
Okay.
So that flight takes 1 hour 45 minutes, and we are also very close from the airport, just 50 minutes driving distance. So once there, you can go to, if you want to go deeper in northern Patagonia, you can combine with Bariloche in the Argentinian side. Otherwise, you can go down from Puerto Montt, flying to Punta Arenas, and there you can visit Torres del Paine. An itinerary I like very much would be doing, for example, Santiago, Puerto Varas, Torres del Paine. Then you can cross to Calafate in the Argentinian side, Bariloche, Buenos Aires. And
Ooh.
in that way, if you want to go really know Patagonia from both sides, north and south, that is a very nice itinerary to do.
And I love it because you're flying into one place and then flying out of another, so there's no backtracking. And so would you say an ideal amount of time for that? Obviously, the longer the better, but I mean, if you had a solid 12, 14 days, you'd be able to 14 days, spend time in Santiago, spend some time in Buenos Aires, then obviously stay with you guys, and then down in Bariloche and Torres del Paine.
Yes, I would say that 14 days is okay for that.
Yeah.
Yes. In these days, you're doing south, and you will have to keep like the northern part of Chile and Argentina for the next trip.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will need like at least one more week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if we can get anyone to go away for 3 weeks, then we can.
Yes, of course. That is always the best.
We'll add on. That sounds heavenly. And then what about seasonality? What are some of your favorite times to be there?
Well, we are open all year round. That is another difference from southern Patagonia. Southern Patagonia is only opens during summer. We are open all year round. During winter, you can have more rainy days, but as we talked before, the hotel inside is so nice and cozy and charming that, it is not bad to see the rain from inside. And there are many people that do all the activities, no matter if it is raining. I mean, it's Patagonia, so that is also a very, it is an all-year destination, but our high season is from December to March. I would say that shoulder season, it's also a very, very good idea from September until December, and then from March to May. That is the very nice months. This is never a crowded place. I mean, there are remote destinations, so it almost never happens that you're going to find like a lot of people. And talking about AWA itself, we are always avoiding massive tourism. So we are in a remote destination, and as our activities are in private service, we always manage to go against the places that can be a little bit more crowded. So, but I would say that yes, in shoulder seasons perhaps is the best time.
I think for some people who might have gone to the Amalfi Coast, for example, last summer, and they felt like it was a little bit too crowded for them, it might be a good year to switch over and go somewhere like Patagonia, where even if the hotel is full or the lodges are full, there's so much space, so much natural beauty that you're going to just, be outside and breathe and enjoy the nature and not feel like you're surrounded by lots of people.
No, you are never going to be surrounded by, crowds and a lot of people. I went to Greece the year before the pandemic, and there was like a destination that it is very typical. So, and it was like at the end, we wanted a photo that everybody has in this place of a Greek island. And it was like waiting crowds and buses from people for taking this photo that is the typical one with the blue ceiling. And it was like, it took like 30 seconds to take the photo, and then it was another people waiting for. Yeah. And when I was back in Chile, and while I visited, I went to AWA before, after that, and it was like, oh, it is so nice to have these stunning places, views, and remote destinations, and you are alone there, and you can like get immersed into the landscape and the places without this craziness of a lot of people, and it is not just a lot of people, it's like the activities as they are, the fact of being in private service, it is so amazing to go through the activities at your own rhythm. And sometimes it happens like, well, I want to go to the hotel back because I'm really exhausted. And there are some days that you are like, well, I want to take advantage and get up very early in the morning and finish very late. And well, you have that option of doing it at your own rhythm without crowded, massive tourism. And at the same time, it's like you have lunch when you want. It's not like, well, at 1 p.m. we have lunch and then everybody out because we have to continue to the other activity. It is the
None of that.
opposite. Yes, it's like when you want it, and we will adapt to your rhythm, and it's not like following fixed schedules. You are all year around following alarm schedules and calendars. So they are your holidays. Relax, take it easy, and we will adapt to your rhythm.
That sounds, I'm sure, luxurious for many people who are shuttling kids to soccer games or going to see their college kids, playing sports and all their work obligations. So it's definitely a place to go to rest, relax, luxuriate, and go back home feeling a little more calm and a little more peaceful and going back to your normal life. Well, Mealy, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure. I love finding beautiful places like this to share with the world because it's just a spot that, there's not a lot else around and people might not have heard of it. So I so appreciate you introducing it to us today.
Thank you very much. And well, you're welcome here. And we tell your daughter that, of course, she will be more than welcome to visit us as well.
Well, I know she might give you a call when she lands in Santiago. So,
sure.
All right. Well, thank you again, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.